welcome back. So, how are we feeling? Chill?
No,
I mean,
it's
No.
hot, my man.
Yes.
40 degrees.
As you move into Calderé, like I said, it's the buildings here are fairly squat. You don't have many that are go past the second story. They're usually made of brick or stone. But what has made them interesting is that what you thought to be sort of one-sided, slanted, sort of shale tiles, you actually realize these are runoffs. This is basically sort of a magma crust. With all of the ash and magma and whatever falls into it, has sort of slowly you have basically this series of shells that all oriented in the same way towards the volcano had been installed. And you can see in some places they have sort of erected these large, again, shields, right, made out of wood and or plaster, whatever materials, to sort of catch the ash coming down from the mountain and giving the certain areas of the city a bit more protection from the direct damage from the mountain. But as you walk through the streets, now that you've sort of stepped through, your sailor is being taken care of, and you can kind of see that behind you now, the second part of the caravan with your goods, with the water, with the and no, it wasn't water. I think it was more the healing potions, right? So the potions and the water and that kind of thing, that is coming up, and they themselves have not been unscathed. Though maybe in a similar fashion, similar kind of attack that you've had, you've took the brunt of it, opened up the way for the rest of the caravan behind, but no one is truly sort of unblemished. I think that, and I think Pax, as you turn towards Karen, who's ushered everything up, she basically says, "Look, I know what to do. Don't worry about it. I'll handle it." As your goods are basically put into storage, again, it's one of those. You don't go and sell directly to the merchant, right? You bring your quartermaster has a list. You go to and basically says, "Okay, and here's basically a bill of sale. You have, I promise to this person these many barrels, and they can go down to the warehouse, pick them up, and that's how it works." As you move in, as I mentioned, now because you have these protections, because of the arrangement and the streets, there is a bit of a breeze here, and so it is less warm. But don't spend too much time with your hand on the wall, as here the bricks are still fairly hot. It is constantly a hot summer's day just before monsoon in India.
Never experienced that, but I'll trust you on your word.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I managed to burn my feet on white marble. As you sort of take up directions there's a few places of note in the city. When you're looking about, let's see, I think I have a description of the citizens first. Yeah, the people on the streets of the city vary, but they all share some characteristics: weapons at their hips and a wariness wearing on their shoulders, which is strange in a way, because you also see among the people here, you can definitely see there are people from Erysia, the Erysian Kingdom or the Caroline Empire, but others as well, including some of maybe of sort of older generation. Again, with the again, armed to the teeth, but there's definitely a way you would recognize retired pirates, for example, people that would have fought at the beginning of the war, or would have been here for the founding. Yeah, definitely this is a place where apparently some older pirates, decide to retire. Maybe it's the heat and the hot springs. Who knows? Say that again.
The heat and the hot springs, really?
Certainly can't be the company.
So a few places of note. I've shared you with the document here. So you've got City Hall, a large utilitarian stone building in the center of town. The City Hall is not the tallest in the area, but certainly the most massive. It is built like a bunker, literally. Most likely one of the oldest here. You can see that it's been repaired, it's been reshaped, but it is almost the way it's constructed, it almost looks like it was shaped by the stone rather than built, if that makes sense. Add to the fact that with all the soot and the magma that sort of flowed in, most of the buildings in the older part of town look like they've been grown out from the ground like stalagmites, as the debris from the volcano sort of accumulates on its sides. In a sort of, I guess, in a sort of maybe in a newer part of town, still made of bricks, and you have the Powder Keg Inn. In a city racked with constant threat of attacks, the inn known as the Powder Keg sticks out as a source of merriment. Even from afar, the sound of laughter can be heard from it at all hours of the day, and the inn itself is modest and quaint, built out of red brick. And like I said, this one seems to be a bit more modern. It hasn't been caked with soot just yet. There's another one, another building, not too far. This one probably a bit more. Well, actually, this one I do have a handout for it. I will give that to you in a second. Here we go. The Sparrow's Flight. Which is a again well-maintained stone building covered in carvings. It's probably almost as probably as old as the City Hall, at least in its construction and in its style. And though here effort has been maintained to clean off the soot and ash, which means that in a city of gray, this sort of strikes out as almost white and almost bright. And I will share the visual here.
That's a pretty building.
Yes, it is a pretty building. It is also a gambling hall.
Tiny. Yeah, of course. Makes sense.
I mean, who's got the money to clean all of this? Then you have the Steel Barrel, a simple stone building in the city's shopping district. Its only attempt to stand out from the crowd is a large gun-shaped sign with the words "The Steel Barrel" etched into it. Various firearms are displayed in its windows. And lastly, the Meet and Greet, which is where you have been told is the best place to get the local goods, which is basically a large butchery with a sign depicting a slab of meat labeled "meat" with a large cleaver labeled "greet" slicing through it.
Gizmo's ears started ringing at the Steel Barrel. I'm sure I saw Nadir's head just go like.
Mm.
And everywhere you see,
there will be before Gizmo visits the Steel Barrel, and after.
The idea that you have, and like I said, everybody is open carry. This looks like Texas. I to be honest, I could actually see the wide brimmed hat to protect from the ash, and yeah. So my question to you is, where are you headed first? By the way, I will allow you to, if it helps you anyone, if you guys want to take a short rest, I will consider that the last part of the journey up the mountain. So if you need to, you can take a short rest.
Yeah. I think we did have some goods to transport, etc. So I think I will keep that company.
So
Farron,
I'll add to this for your knowledge, Farron. There is sort of a market hall, right? So where goods. I've mentioned the sort of individual shops, but there is a sort of more of a general store marketplace where you have stalls from different artisans or farmers or that kind of thing. Pax, you needed all those hit points?
Okay, well, with that in mind,
I was at 24 out of 40.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not full yet, but this is good. Now 35 out of 40.
Okay. Sorry, Farron, you were saying. Farron, did we lose you?
no, with that in mind, I think I would ask the captain, kind of like, so, nope, hello.
Yeah,
Can
we
you
got
still
you,
hear
we
me?
got you. You're lagging again.
yeah.
Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
you're lagging, but we
Yeah,
hear you.
Oh, bugger. So, with that in mind, I am going to ask the captain, so, shall we go and take care of the goods first, or should we attend to other priorities?
Mostly it's going to go off on trade and not on solid payment, right?
That is up to you.
Okay, I'd say let's see what this town has
That's
to
the idea.
offer. Let's go with let's see what we need here, and then we can exchange our goods and trade them in for what we need, instead of having to cash them and then negotiate again. That lag is incredible.
Yeah. The main export for here is going to be anything from spirits, for example, alcohol, beer as well. So you've got a lot of brewers around, and meat, of course, red meat, the hogs and the other sort of larger animals. Are, so this is the, from what you understand, this is the only source of actual meat that is within the islands, right? So for example, the grub here is slightly more expensive. However, it is going to be much easier if you want to hand that out. So if you want to, and the meat comes in, fresh as in preserved in any shape or form. So that can be. Farron, did we get you back? No, guess not. Okay. I'll say this: Farron moves. We'll wait for him to reconnect. Sort of. Farron does his thing at the marketplace. Astrea, Gizmo, Pax, what are you doing?
I think Gizmo is going to want to go to the steel barrel, anyways, and
Very much so.
uh,
I was afraid you'd say that.
so. I mean, it's their other specialty, so I don't mind going and have a look, especially if we need to equip the ship.
Yeah.
Well,
Gizmo. Sorry. Go ahead, Farron. Go ahead.
I am supposed to assist when it comes to equipment, etc. So I would be happy to join as support if that is necessary.
Karen and the others will take care of anything, sort of making sure that nobody sort of steals from you. From you. So you've got your inventory as a bill of sales. If you want to go trading, we can put that to the side. We don't need to play that out. Again, bill of sale. I mean, it'll take you maybe a day walking around the city, and you'll be able to know what other specialties that might be needed elsewhere, right? But again, mostly the beer, because this is the only place that grows barley in the Isles. Anything spirits as well, if you want to, a bit of whiskey or a rye, and of course the red meat.
I think Farron's eyes are kind of going to linger on the Sparrow's flight and kind of like at the... Because you told me that this is a gambling hall as well, right? Right. Day and night cycle not being a thing here, do I get a sense that this is the sort of place that just doesn't stop?
It does not. It does not for two reasons. One, lack of day-night cycle. And secondly, there is, again, I mentioned that wariness. Whenever there's a tremor, it's very easy to notice who the tourists are, right? Because as soon as there's a tremor, you'll have somebody go, what's going on? That's the tourist. However, the locals are not the ones that are sort of used to kind of this. It's very Californian, right? Is it? Oh, this is just a 3.5. That's it's nothing. However, whenever there's a tremor, you see almost by instinct most people go to handle a weapon at their hip, or sort of just pause and have a look around. There is a paranoia here, which is if somebody misses something, the city can burn down. And so everybody's constantly on alert. So it's a city that doesn't sleep out of necessity, because if it falls asleep, it will wake up in terror, basically. Often as well, and again, as you're walking, this is sort of enhanced by the fact that you will see placated quite regularly the same posters of for the militia. You'll also in addition to that, you'll start seeing maybe graffiti with regards to the mayor. If you look at the again to the poster, it's mentioned.
Yeah.
It mentions Mayor, tired of Mayor Bronson doing nothing, and you start getting these graffitis, and you can see that some of them have been wiped away. Strangely enough, a lot of the graffiti is just written, maybe sort of written in the dust or the soot on the wall. So you have these large patches of wall that have been cleaned up, where you would expect that there was graffiti, and sort of to erase it, well, you just have to clean the wall, basically. But yeah, there's definitely a tension with regards to there's a tension here. Actually, Farron, No, actually, Gizmo. Roll me a d20 plus 3, please.
Yes, sir. D20 plus 3.
Yep.
That is going to be a 4.
Okay. That's actually very good. That is actually very, very good.
I knew that,
Of course you did.
obviously.
Obviously. Yeah. So the yes, it is very much a city that never sleeps. People individually sleep, but there's always people on alert. Is this lagging or are you not answering? Because now I don't know. Fair?
No, we're just waiting for you to continue.
No. I'm answering Farron's question as this is
okay,
a city
okay.
that never sleeps.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
it is a city.
yeah.
It's a
Right.
city that never sleeps.
You know, I think then for Farron, there's this understanding of looking first at the gambling hall and looking at everyone else, and in a way he sees, oh, everyone's a gambler in this city by the very fact that they're living here, in a sense. And he notices the tension. He notices the calculation, the practiced calculation at each tremor in the people who have been shaped by life here. And there's a sense of familiarity to that climate, and a sense of a thrill to it, which he pushes away for now, but that still scratches at the back of his head.
So is this Farron's ideal home?
Not ideal home. I think I'll keep that for the. Tell you what, I'll keep that for the debrief.
You push.
Do
into-
we?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think as we're considering where we go, Pax will just turn to Astrea and basically the others that are there. Do we intend to take lodging here in the city? Or do we intend to trek back down?
I think our business is gonna take a little bit too long for us to descend back on the same day. And we have to think about, unfortunately, recruitment. So
If you want to check out that steel barrel with Gizmo, I could get us room and board set up and some announcements going at the inn.
sounds like a plan. Farron,
Yes, Captain.
do you want to go with Pax, or do you have interest in the steel barrel as well?
Well, I was going to keep Gizmo company, if with a pointed look towards you, as leaving you free to interpret what exactly I mean by company and why. But if you think my talents are better used elsewhere, I'm happy to leave that aside.
It's not a question of being better used elsewhere, it's where do you feel like you need to be? Because
I think I'll have a look at those guns for the ship then.
alright. Pax, you good being on your own?
I can handle paying for a room, Captain.
You know what I meant. Alright. See you later.
And
I think
Pax
there's a
splits
nod
off.
towards Pax, kind of like of acknowledgement, but also kind of like a check-in.
Pax returns the nod in silence as he turns to then split off.
Can we go now? Can we go? Can we go? I'm already walking towards the shop anyway.
Some of them, at least. Yes, let's go.
So
And I will.
yeah, I guess we just barged through the door. What do we see? What does it look like?
Momento. Don't worry, I got you. So Calderé is. This is up until now. This is the biggest city you've seen so far. There's about there's roughly about maybe between 3,000 and 4,000 inhabitants at any given So yeah, it's a fairly big town. And you'll see regularly. I think Gizmo, make me an investigation check. Perception or investigation, whatever you have higher.
Definitely investigation.
I guess there.
Okay, 14.
14.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. There's something a bit odd. Not necessarily odd. You've been looking at this pistol that you've had in your possession for the last couple of weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Probably took it apart, refitted it about 100 times. You can see quite clearly that there's a lot of different models that people sport at their hips or at their sort of chest sashes or whatnot. But there's a few of them, especially the ones that are recognizable as militia. They seem to have an extra piece to them. There's you can see that where the barrel, just above the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not the. So at the back of the barrel, before beyond the handle, there's a seeming little glowing, almost like a furnace. There's sort of a glowing light there that seems to be behind a little grill that seems to be able to be opened and closed. It's sort of a little bit extra. You also notice that a lot of these are. You would imagine. Would you?
I don't know. Would I?
I was about to say you would imagine that they've been sort of industrially made, but no. All of them are a bit different. All of these weaponry seem to be a bit different in the way that in different styles, but also the way they shape it. They don't necessarily look customized, though some do. But yeah, there's something all of them are different in little ways.
There is something unique in each one.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. As you're walking through the streets, you come to the steel barrel. It doesn't take much for you as you're asking around, it doesn't take much for people to just point you in the right direction. As I said, it's like the building is sort of nondescript with regards apart from that sign, which is that gun with the name on it. As you step in, immediately the temperature drops by 1 or 2 degrees. You haven't been inside one of these buildings just yet, but you would imagine that's the cooling technology, right? You build with regards to the heat. So immediately you're feeling a bit cooler. There's let me see. I need to try and remember the. No, that's the powder keg. And let's see, steel barrel. Here we go. As you enter the shop, it's It's small-ish, right? There's a the front the big there's sort of a counter set in the middle of the space. The client side is fairly compact, but you can see that there is a whole workshop situated behind the counter.
Okay.
And while as you come in, maybe you're crossing. There's a couple of people sort of looking through. There's an older gentleman, maybe sort of late 40s. You can see that he's definitely got he's missing an arm, and he's sort of talking to this sort of half orc, who's I guess fairly stringy kind of half orc, right? He hasn't had the bulk, but you can definitely see that there is stringy muscle there. He's
Okay.
sort of apron, arms bare, and has about his atop of his head. He has these. I guess we'd call them tinkered goggles, right? It's a different. Where you can switch out the lenses and that kind of thing, and he's sort of discussing, muttering to this older man, and you can see the man sort of, again, he's missing an arm. He turns around, grabs a fairly large pistol, and sort of points it in a direction, clicks, doesn't fire, and then sort of turns, and then he turns to his belt, where he basically just hooks the back of the pistol into the hook, pushes it down, you hear the rearming, and then he pulls it back up and clicks. And you can basically, and the half-orc goes, it sort of nods in appreciation at it, pretty much as his own work. Goes, well, there you go, sir. I think that'll allow you to make do without the extra hand. Thank you very much, Kellis. This'll help. At least it'll keep these old bones a bit more active. Well, doesn't mean that you're supposed to be running into any elemental that drops into town, okay? Hey, militiamen till the end. Yeah, well, make sure they know that, right? Okay, yeah. How much I owe you? Look, it's part of the contract. Maintenance is there, so, okay then. He sort of drops a couple of silver coins, just for the trouble. And for the trouble. And sort of, again, puts the pistol into a holster, sort of walks out, and as he passes you, Astrea, so there's the sort of the hat, large brimmed hat, sort of nods towards you as you enter, but immediately you clock, and I think Pax and Gizmo, Pax, you would clock this, where he's looking at the three of you.
I'm not there.
Oh no, it's not. No, not there. So I think Astrea, you would see this, where he clocks the three of you, immediately noticing the weaponry, the gait, and the way the way you move, and very much the sash of a militiaman.
He's looking at potential recruits.
Or potential
yeah.
people that he needs to put down.
Trouble, yeah.
Yeah. He definitely has that sort of deputy sheriff kind of old deputy sheriff kind of vibe to him.
Okay.
And the front of the shop is a lot of, there are pistols, there are rifles, there's a lot of firearms. Gizmo, you don't notice any of them that's sort of accessible here, or none of them are glowing in the same way. However, you do notice that over the counter in the back, there's a few sort of armored stores, but on one of the counters there is that sort of glow. It almost looks like firelight, but
Okay.
you see, it seems to be sort of coming out of gems. I'll show you what they look like.
Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, shiny. Shiny and glowing. There's almost a pulse to them.
Okay. Yeah, I see the idea.
And now you kind of recognize what you might have been seeing within those pistols. Previously.
Fire crystals?
Yeah. Hi, folks. How may I help you?
We will get 4 of the thing that guy got, and can you make it this much bigger?
And I just
Gizmo?
This is good afternoon. Well, good day. We are interested in some equipment also for personal defense, but mostly for the ships.
Ships.
First question. Should have been. Hello. Are you actually outfitting ships, or are we here in the wrong place?
Well, for smaller caliber, I can help out. He sort of points to you. There's maybe 1 or 2 examples of maybe of a swivel gun, which is basically just a rifle set into sort of a small, the small coup de vrille kind of handheld cannons,
right.
which are maybe too heavy for Gizmo to hold, but maybe something that, I don't know, Karen or Karg would be able to hold up. But I don't do much more than that.
So, DM, so that we're talking more gun turret than actual cannon.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
gun turret, as in. I'll find the specific, but yes, think medieval handheld cannons.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That's good enough for me.
Definitely a good start. I mean, you're the expert when it comes to these things.
So realistically speaking,
He's not.
like actually realistically speaking, how many? Well, actually, we didn't ask for any prices or anything yet. So
How many?
Yep.
How much do you sell those for?
So what are you pointing at?
the swivel turret guns.
I will try and find you the pricing. Yeah, so I don't make many of those. I mostly just usually my expertise is mostly in the handheld variety. So let me just let's put it, the muskets, for example, are 400 gold. The pistols and with the powder are 200, and the bullets are by for a set of 20 bullets are 5 gold pieces.
Okay.
I cannot
So
find the cannon.
we can easily restock for the crew technically, but we cannot really outfit the ship itself.
Let's see. The swivel guns. Yeah, so the swivel guns are about 150, about 200.
I mean, that's still okay, I think.
So just so you know, the swivel gun, which is considered a light weapon, it is short ranged. It will not. It is too light to do any damage to ships. However, if close enough, it's an anti-personnel weapon for. So it's when you kind of see. It's the kind of thing you drop either as defensive when you're being boarded, or offensive when you want to board.
Yeah, I see.
So that's 200 here.
What can it use as ammunition? Does it only use like normal bullets, or can we make it go boom?
You've never handled a firearm before, have you?
Oh no, I've got plenty with me, and I start like taking all my gizmos and gadgets.
The- look, friend. These are delicate machinery. If you're going to be using it, you need to know how to maintain it, use the proper propellant and ammunition. I sell both here, and he sort of shows you. Again, they're the fairly standard bullets. You would be able to make them fairly easily with the materials that you have access to. But yes, it's not something. Oh, I'll just put anything into it and just
Yeah, clearly. Do you have anyone that could actually make something for, like, ship-sized?
Well, you'll have to go to Velisteran for that, if you want the
Yes.
cannons specifically.
Wait, what's the name again? What did you say?
Velisteran, which is the central island.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can do anything bigger than a swivel gun is. I just don't have the means here. And to be honest, I don't really have the time.
I look at the captain. I look at Farron.
I'm curious. This entire field of weaponry. This is unique to this region, is it not?
It's unique to what? Sorry.
To this region, is it not? Like this is a local specialty.
Oh.
No.
Oh, actually, these are my specialty. Designed most of these myself, based on royal or imperial designs, sure, but a bit of my flavor. Here, you see his eyes light up, right? Because you're asking him about. This is an inventor showing off the toy that he came up with, and he sort of grabs one of these muskets or rifles from the wall, and he sort of shows you. Getting fairly technical to the point where I think Gizmo, you managed to follow along, but Farron and Astrea, you are lost. But basically, he shows you how in these little these sort of baskets that are situated. Sort of, it depends on the gun, but sometimes it's sort of towards the front or towards the back. But in every single time, the idea is the bullet is sort of empowered by that elemental crystal, and therefore fires with an elemental charge attached to it. In short, it does extra fire damage to your normal, but you need to recharge. You need to actually put in the crystals into it as well. But yeah, and he's there, he sort of finishes. Now, the only thing is that a lot of these crystals have a pulse to them, and it's a bit more. So when you pull the trigger, it's a bit more random as to the energy that it actually puts into the projectile, but energy there is.
Energy to the point that it compromises the weapon itself, or?
Oh no, I've taken that into account.
Good. Well, what do you think, Gizmo? Do you think there's something to learn here, or do you maybe want to tinker with some of your own designs, share some ideas?
Gizmo's eyes are still shining after the explanation and seeing the gadget that this guy invented, and I start basically bombarding him with questions, like with very specific terms that are like kobold made, basically. So I start asking him, like, and did you ever think about putting like a fluffer whooper on that part instead? Or maybe you could actually you could bypass the anger buster, and then you could, I start just throwing a lot of questions at him.
I'm gonna roll an intelligence check to see if he actually understands my context. What you're talking about. Yeah, that's a 14. It's difficult, right? There's a moment where he goes, "What do you mean by?" There's a lot of sort of almost like sign language where he goes, which this that and yeah, there's definitely. There's a geek meet, definitely, at this point, right? These are two tech heads talking together. Astrea Fair, and you were completely lost.
Yes.
But you know what, Gizmo? Make me a...
Yes.
Are you proficient in persuasion?
Am I proficient in persuasion? Actually, I am.
Okay, well,
Oh.
I want you to roll intelligence with persuasion. So roll intelligence with...
With intelligence.
Sorry?
Is it persuasion with intelligence modifier?
Yeah. So basically, roll me intelligence with proficiency. So actually, your tool check.
Can Farron's presence and kind of like him kind of like in leading the conversation, even though Farron doesn't understand, is that enough to grant him advantage?
Sure.
I still have a...
so. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, actually,
I'll take that.
I think it'd be the equivalent of your intelligence saving throw.
My intelligence saving throw, yeah, it's still a +6. So let's go again.
Oh wait, no, but you'd rolled.
Because I didn't need to roll. Yeah.
No, okay. Well, I'll take the 19. No worries.
That's very generous of you.
I mean, there's not much difference between a 14 and the 19 in my.
Oh, okay.
No, I think that he definitely recognizes. There's enough here for him to recognize that you are a tinkerer, so there is sort of that kindred spirit. I guess the difference between the 14 and the 19 is how much he estimates your field of expertise regards to his.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the 14 he realized, okay, you're not a specialist, but you know what it's enough to, okay, you're not an astrophysicist, but you're a physicist nonetheless, you know, that kind of thing, right? You're and so he catches himself a few times where he's about to sort of maybe put in a trade secret or something along those lines, right? But he catches himself. I'll still go with the 14. So with the 19, he might have spilled a couple of secrets.
Yeah, fair enough.
But definitely sees you as a kindred spirit. Is it something that what are you trying to get out of this conversation? As in trying to know how to...
good question. So, on one hand, I think Gizmo would actually be interested about learning from this guy. Like, he's not an egotistical guy. If someone can teach him something new, he's very happy to learn it. If this guy, for any reason, doesn't want to teach him, then Gizmo knows that he can buy one of those guns and try to figure out and reverse engineer the thing.
Okay.
But he would like to go with the friendly option first, just the easiest for everybody.
Okay. I'm gonna leave this conversation for a moment. We're gonna move to Pax. Pax, where are you headed?
I think the powder keg in, right? If it's for room and board, and maybe prepare an announcement for recruitment.
Okay. As mentioned previously, the powder keg, while not the only inn in town, it is definitely the most lively and the most sort of animated. As you enter inside, it's probably one of the reasons you see I'll say this, you see a lot of sashes. And placard at the exit. At the entrance of the bar, as well as inside, you see the same posters, including some with variants. Right, you can see there's a few that have been that are some of them a bit more aggressive. Others where there's a design where you see a militiaman sort of holding proudly a weapon to the head of what seems to be a flaming fire, or there's definitely and you can see a lot of these people, men, women, sort of all ages. Adult, I'll say this, right? But wearing the sashes and openly carrying the weaponry at their hips. Some of them sort of either cleaning them on the tables, that kind of thing. This is very much a cop bar, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Behind the bar. Is and you can see the bar is human height. However, there must be a platform behind it, because there is I forget if it's a halfling or a gnome. I will get you that immediately. Where are you, Vic? Halfling. There's a halfling sort of running backwards and forward, serving drinks, pushing up, sort of getting orders and that kind of thing, running around. Pax, as I'm not saying yet you are fairly unique in this part of the Expanse, but a lizardman is usually quite rare. Here with all these, warm-blooded folks, and so you attract attention as you open the bar. It's not there's a general silence, but there's a lot of views looking towards you, and quite a few eyes that dart towards the weaponry that you're carrying, either the axe or your build in general, right? Where are you headed? Bar, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Pax goes straight to the bar. Takes a moment just to look around where the bar is. When he locks eyes, he starts walking that way.
Just a minute. I'll be right with you. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll send that to you to get yourself your usual table. Yeah. I'll get you the order. What? No, we don't serve that anymore. We're out. Yeah, I'll send you what I have, okay? Right, yeah. Sorry about that, regulars. Welcome. Haven't seen you around. You here for the militia?
No, we're sailing through.
Right. Sure. Fine. Yeah. So how can I help you?
Well, first off, do you have boarding? Do you have rooms?
Yeah. Just one? Just you?
No. And Pax basically sums up
yeah, I mean, it'd be about
the amount of crew that's here. Common lodging is okay for the crew, probably separate for officers' lodging, but he's also not going to empty the wallet there for everyone having an individual room.
Yeah, we can accommodate that. I can get your crew. I've got dealings with a few houses down. We can get them set up there. Not a problem. So just officers, right? So that would be what, 4 or 5 people? That you okay with 2 rooms or 1?
Make it 2.
2. Yeah, sure, no problem. We can have that done. He sort of turns over to Mickey. Yeah, could you go and see if we have 2 rooms? Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. Huh? No. There'll be non-militia. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're also going to make an announcement out for potential new crew as we're passing through before we lift anchor. Can that be done here?
Yeah, sure. Okay. A bit poaching on my recruitment drive, but you know what? Fair game. If they want to leave, they're gonna leave. So, yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Your recruitment drive? You mean you're in charge of?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm the militia. That's me basically. That's me recruiting. Yeah, I'm at the origin of that particular thing because, well, nobody else was doing anything. So took it on my own hands, on my own shoulders. It's sort of, and he does that. He sort of squares, his sort of hands at the hips, or it sort of stands straight, and sort of behind the bars. Like, yep, gotta do something.
Pax gestures a thumb out the door, adding context. That's a mighty big building for things being left in the hands of others.
Well, yeah. I'm guessing you're pointing towards the city hall.
Yeah, City Hall.
There's a look that goes through Vic's to his eyes. But he would have introduced himself. Yeah, I'm Vic. I'm the one.
Pax.
Pax. Yeah, there's a look of. There's a frustration, but you can see that it's frustration that's building to something a bit more active, right? Where it's a frustration where there's seething there. Where he goes, yeah, don't I know it? I've been trying for months to get to talk to Mayor Bronson, but apparently I'm not welcome. He doesn't seem to like my little idea, but he won't do anything to help the situation, so there we go.
Well, it's not up to me to meddle with local politics.
Well, no, well, it's yeah, our issues, and look, I get it. You're coming and going, not a problem. But look, he sort of brings out the again tap water. Sort of pulls at the tap, serves you probably the first tap beer that you've had in quite a while. Look, on the house. But look, all seriousness, I know Vic and his militia, it's something, the drive and whatnot. Calderé really kind of needs this kind of help. Able fighters, I train these. Most of them I've trained myself because they just needed the room and board, and some of them were interested in the shiny weaponry. Yeah. Yeah, I've got an arrangement with the barrel. Join the militia, get your own gun. And we even train you to do it, to use them.
We traveled up the mountain. We faced a couple of those fiery buggers ourselves.
Yeah, the big ones, smaller ones.
I'd say they were relatively small.
Oh yeah, the methods, the little bombing. What are they called? Magmins. I think that's the term that they're using.
Whatever it is, they're small, they're hot. I don't like them.
Yeah, well, you're lucky for that. Higher up the mountain, especially around the mines, they get the bigger buggers. Yeah,
that's
the role of the militia. We go in, save people, and we do the stuff that Mayor Bronson won't.
Not. Seabax hesitate for a second before just rolling his eyes and letting go of trying to be subtle at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you here?
Me?
Well, in general, it's valuable down the mines. It's not the climate nor the government, apparently.
No, but it's them, the people here. A lot of folks decided to make Calderé their home, and, well, I'll be damned if I want to let them down. Where I come from, it's... You stand up for folks. Community, that's what community is. And if that means that by my efforts I can teach them to protect themselves and prosper here in this on this hostile island, well then, so be it. That's my job. And from what I can understand, I made a community of my own, right? Got the bar, got the patrons, got my militia, and I save people.
You've been saying before dismissing that you needed help. What kind of help?
Manpower is always something. Calderé, you say what's keeping me here. I've got a reason. A lot of folks come by and then see the sights, maybe stay for a week or two because meat's good, beer's good. But soon enough, they'll decide to go to other pastures, either because they find booking on a ship or they decide that they want to go through the Shipwrecker's Gauntlet to Vilistaran or other islands. I don't know. So a lot of folks passing through. It's kind of hard to put down roots here, but those who do, hey, solid rock. This is not addressed to you, but definitely addressed to the people in the crowd that are sort of listening in. And as he sort of salutes them, they have salutes in return from the patrons.
Anything of the more direct nature?
I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Unless you can barge into there and get me a meeting with the mayor, that's gonna. But.
Well, we're travelers. We're not politicians.
Look,
and Pax flashes his toothy grin at that moment.
Well, if you want to help, if you want to make some coin, don't necessarily need to be the militia, but there's a couple of places we can. Couple
Maybe
of places
not coin,
that
but
I need somebody to check on people, that kind of thing, right?
Tell you what, we'll be staying here, me along with the rest of my crew and fellow officers and captain. We do trade in things like information and perhaps pointing to the right people for our further endeavors. If we can do something in return, it can be discussed, perhaps with my captain here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that we can do. Look, like I said, militia is purely on a voluntary basis. I'm not gonna force you to do this. It's dangerous enough. And if you're just here in passing, well, you're just here in passing.
Pax simply nods and holds the mug up, having said what needed to be said. They just count out the coins and leave a little pouch for the cost of the rooms. And we'll actually stay there. Pax is pretty much just gonna stick on the stool that he picked, lean back and keep his ears open, just keeping an eye out to try and absorb what this militia actually is.
Make me an insight check.
All right.
Yeah.
60.
Nice, very nice. 16 going on 19. What exactly are you trying to figure out?
Pax is trying to get a feel of how truly necessary this militia is in this situation. Like, is there real neglect from the governing body and people suffering because of this? Therefore, a militia is forming to just reclaim their own freedom, hence piracy. Or is this more a performative thing? Someone is trying to throw their hat in the ring because they disagree with the current leadership and doing this grander gesture.
Right. At least from Vic, you understand this is genuine. Right? This is a genuine thing. He sees that there is something that needed to be done. There there is a lack. There are guards, right? There is a city guard. However, it is in poor shape, as most of the city guards have maybe moved into the militia. Probably because Vic pays better, or from what you understand, that militia do not pay for drinks in the bar. Let's put it that way. You're not exactly sure where Vic makes his money, because at first you're going, wait, apparently 2/3 of the people in this bar don't pay their tabs, right?
No one's paying.
No one's paying. Or at least no one's paying as much as you would for a drink.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, but you also understand that he sort of takes care of his own in a way, and that might be coming back. So there's a moment where maybe you stay a couple hours there. Yeah,
probably.
You'll see there's comings and goings. There's no real schedule. I guess, would there be a... No, I think there is a schedule, right? You have a list. There's a sort of a blackboard where you have the different names and sort of places where they would go and patrol. And so you have people coming in and out regularly. You can count you've seen maybe about 20 or 30 people, different people coming in and out with regards to militiamen. There's general camaraderie between them. It looks like I think the camaraderie is less like it looks less like police officers and more like firemen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There is that knowledge when they go out and they salute the people that are there. There is that kind of tension where you're going, is this the last time we see him? Because we know that if they're going out, there's an eruption, they're going to be in the thick of it.
Yeah.
None of the people here that you're seeing here are... a lot of them have been burnt, a lot of them have been maimed. You're seeing quite a few either missing fingers or burnt faces, that kind of thing. But none of their equipment is standard. There's no uniform. But they've sort of grabbed. You'll see some wearing cloaks, others sort of leather armor or that kind of thing. Some of them are using mechanisms, or you'll see a couple of breathing masks, that kind of thing. It's all very much sort of improvised equipment. But generally, they're friendly to each other, and I think on again 16 going on 19, I think there's maybe a moment where there's an altercation between one of the paying patrons and one of the militia. And literally, you see the altercation, and the entire bar turns to kind of see what's going on, right? The idea is that you hit one of them, you're going to get the other 29 on your ass. There's very much that sort of that system. So if Vic, but it also means that, and this is on your analytical thing, this would be an amazing crew, but the day where one of them gets... If Vic gets ambitious enough to try to pull a coup, these guys will follow, no questions asked.
Yeah.
But you're not feeling in for Vic just yet. Like I said, there's that seething anger. There's pressure underneath that.
Yeah, it's clear it's been going on for a while. Yeah. So this water has been boiling for a while.
Yes, absolutely. And at some point you're going, he might snap.
Yep.
And if it snaps, it'll be bad.
Yeah. It's like a volcanic eruption. Who? I think Pax just stays there indeed for like maybe an hour or two, slowly finishing the ale that was offered more out of courtesy, because they are on duty for all matters, for all purposes. And would end up just lingering afterwards outside, but still in the general area of the inn, assuming that they are going to reconvene there, since that's going to be their sleeping quarters. But just again, in general, trying to get a feel of how this place works. Because he's been lost both in Maladel and in Fosfjord because it was a storm. He actually has time to people watch. And he's just in his very traditional creepy lizard way will stand somewhere at a corner nearby the inn staring at people.
I think there's a moment where I think that's the camera sort of just lingers on Pax sort of sitting there. Probably the first time we've actually seen Pax ever relax since we started this campaign. As you're sitting there, I think there's a moment where you take a swig of the ale and you realize with a chuckle it's watered down.
Yep.
And that's where we're gonna end for tonight. Right.
Very nice.
Folks watching at home, you know the story. If you're just here for the story, we invite you to either wait a week or move on to the next episode. If you want to hear our thoughts about tonight's session, just stick around a little bit. We're going to take a quick break and reconvene with whoever wants to discuss later. So thank you again for your support. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and we'll see you just on the other side.
Bye.
Three of us. Then there were
we lost half of our crew. We're screwed.
They shall be avenged.
Oh, we'll get their thoughts anyways. So, heavy session. Starting with a good little fight.
But it was good because it was one of those, I think I already mentioned it a little bit earlier. It was just very bread and butter fight. Just go and explode the thingies.
Yeah.
Well,
as long as you weren't exploding the things right next to the civilian.
Yeah.
I had put in specifically low hit point civilians there so that it kind of still made it a bit more pressure and tactical. But you did very well. I mean, Farina going, you know what? Move back 10 feet.
Yes. This is one of those moments where kind of like having Eldritch Blast as kind of like your all-purpose thing actually works, because Repelling Blast kind of like does solve that particular problem. And yeah, I like it's easy to forget, like if you're doing one of these fights, that in character, being the kind of officer that like destroys everything but lets the crew die along the way is maybe not a great idea.
Yeah.
So I figured that was the responsible thing to do. But still fun that this is local pest control. It's their equivalent of mosquitoes, I guess.
Yeah,
like
what was it? Some villages have mosquitoes. Some villages have, we have dragons.
Yes.
It's very much welcome to Berk.
Yes.
Very old village, new buildings.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure that whatever is lurking in the mines will not be a concern to our crew whatsoever.
Well, if you never go up there, it's not your problem.
Yeah, that's the point.
If
we can just avoid the mines.
Yes. This is one of those things, right? I had a friend. I was running Curse of Strahd for him, with a few other people in the party, and it very quickly became clear that he was the kind of player, like my other friends, they were like, let's follow the plot, let's get into character, etc. They were theater people, and he was the kind of player like, I need to inspect every room to find the secret passage and the hidden loot and kind of like unlock all the lore. And that's great if everyone else in the party is on board for that. But and now I'm trying to figure out, is this going to be a 100% completion, find the secret boss kind of thing, or is this going to be the plot kind of thing? And which one are we gonna follow? But I'm game. I'm very much game.
This whole chapter is a sandbox, right? If you decide to just sit Calderé out, you can be in and out, and not a problem. Right? Just stay one night, maybe recruit a few people, and then move on. If you want to stay a bit further, there's things to do here. The same way that there were things to do on Maladel or on Frostfjord, there's definitely things that you can do here in Calderé. And we'll explore that.
Crew,
we'll explore that in the next couple of sessions as well.
I mean, in terms of the crew, story-wise, where we are, we're still trying to figure out. Okay, we have a ship, we have a crew. We need to keep that crew fed. We need to keep that crew busy. We need to keep that crew paid. And incidentally, we need to keep ourselves in the same condition. So are we going to be the delivery boys? Are we going to be mercenaries? Are we going to be smugglers? Are we going to be full-on pirates?
Yeah, because we still haven't like really picked where we're going next. Like right now, we're just kind of vibing and exploring whatever tickles our fancy, but we don't know what the actual next destination is.
Which is why it makes sense to kind of like still talk to people and hear what we're gonna do. Like I was ever since the end of the last session where we found that poster about the militia, I was like, okay, this is interesting. But yeah, you don't enlist unless you know until you know what war you'd be fighting in a certain way. So there's a bit of research that I think is going to be interesting. Definitely a true believer, the leader of the militia. Yeah, from the sound of it. But
I forgot to show you he's got a handout. But I will do that for next time. I'll save that reveal for next time. Remind me that I need to show you his portrait.
Okay. Now, and it was also fun for Pax to have that moment. I thought if first of all, kind of like, I like the idea of Gizmo and Farron being this sort of like comedy duo where Farron is the straight man who gets increasingly frustrated with kind of like Gizmo's antics, but also Pax has been learning to get appreciated and respected, kind of like in his position, and kind of like discovering that he is trusted in a different way than he was under Dasha. And I like the idea of, even though he is not the most charismatic or whatnot mechanically or otherwise, he's the first mate, and he gets to do first mate shit.
Unfortunately, Panda had to head out, but definitely, I think that's a conversation that we need to have in one of these after shows about. It doesn't need to be next session, but I'm interested in seeing how PAX evolves, and to be honest, all of you, right? We've seen Astrea evolve, we've seen Farron evolve. Gizmo is very much true to himself.
For the moment being.
For the moment.
But we saw it. Yeah. I think we saw a couple glimpses of what he's actually after, which I think I would really like to play it as a very slow burn for Gizmo. Like, there should be. I feel like there will be. Sorry, I'm dying. There will be some point in the story where there will be one big revelation and everybody will be.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I want to get there for sure.
Yeah, I think that so we've got the there's Calderé is, and I won't go into the details, I won't go into the spoilers or whatnot, but Calderé is definitely one of those, one of the islands with the most to do and to get involved with.
Okay.
Right? This is one of the islands where I didn't have to sort of add in extra drama or extra sort of, because there's more than enough. There's already been a few clues as things are things to be done, right? You can join the militia. There's a whole aspect around that. There's definitely maybe that rivalry between Vic and Mayor Bronson that might be maybe you want to get involved with, or maybe not. But yeah, choices here. There is going to be I'll say this. There might be consequences to your actions going further that might impact the entirety of these islands.
Yeah, makes sense.
Nice.
Because of
Which is fun.
I mean, yeah. Remember, the islands very much work on a... there's a harmony between them. There's an equilibrium. So if something breaks, equilibrium breaks, there's going to be repercussions, right? Imagine if Maladel burns. All of a sudden, you've got the breadbasket of the Drake Isles burns. What do you do, right?
Yeah.
Immediately, the whole culture is, oh, we need to go get it. And therefore, you have how many hundreds of pirates that decide, you know what, we need to go get food elsewhere. And it's going to be raiding the entirety of the region, for example. A phosphor disappears. Water is gone, right? If for example, somebody else captures the wellspring, what happens at that point? So it's interesting how the authors sort of set these up to be sort of every single island is necessary in a certain way. Some a bit more obvious than others. Calderé is essential. I don't think you've noticed why yet.
Yeah, there is some sort of status quo then that if it gets broken, then it can kind of lead to this domino effect where everything goes to shambles.
Yeah. There was this I think it was in the sci-fi series The Expanse, where they were describing cascade failures at some point. So the whole concept was that certain ecosystems were resilient, but others were so artificial and were depending on so few things that if one of them broke down, kind of like there wasn't enough resistance in the system to adapt, and then kind of like you had just cascade failures. And the way you're describing it feels very much like we're in a system that is far more fragile than it should be in order to be reliable.
I mean, in The Expanse is a bit different. In The Expanse, that domino effect is not always a bug. Sometimes it's a feature. But that makes it dystopian.
The churn.
Here, it's a bit more... I mean, it's also that life of adventure, right? That the idea is if everything's fine, if everything is fairly stable, then where's the chaos? Where's the adventure? Where's the purpose of adventurers?
Yeah, true.
These are pirates. Do you actually think that when you have, I don't know, let's give it a total of 1 million pirates who are all about freedom. Altogether, you need some form of control, right? There needs to be some kind of equilibrium. So, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I will.
Looking forward to it.
This is also going to be most likely the last real play of this particular chapter, because as soon as once we get to Velisteran, that's when I'll sort of close the chapter and we can move on to the next one. It's not because again Velisteran is very much it's the goal of this chapter, but there's nothing really happening there with regards to plot wise until we get to the chapter to the next one.
Okay, fair. Okay.
So here, have fun, right? But I'm very much along with the ride. If you decide tomorrow or next session to go, oh yeah, we haven't found the cannons here, we're going to Velisteran. Fine. This is very much a sandbox. So you are completely It's your rhythm. You're dictating the speed here. I'm just lighting the road.
Fair.
But yeah, it's going to be, and I'm interested to see how, because now Gizmo, you've dropped the armor, the artifice, the artillerist, and you've gone for the tinker.
Yeah.
By the way, how was that? Because that was your first fight as
Maverick.
as a maverick. So how did that
Yeah.
work out?
I mean, I literally one-shotted 2 enemies just like that. That was satisfying. That was fun. I felt powerful, which is which is always nice. So yeah, I like it. But honestly, what I had a lot of fun preparing is all the inventory of gizmos. That was super fun because Andreas, you don't see it, but I have my channel with my notes. There's a whole series of images. I have one different
It was-
gizmo for each spell
Yeah. Every spell has a little
device, basically.
yeah.
So when I will learn or change spells in the future, I will try to find new references for the descriptions of the items so that Gizmo has a new kind of gadget every
A lot of wind-up toys.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the wind-up clock, where you're winding up and then, and that's what gives toll the bell, toll the dead.
Very Jinx.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much so. Yeah, absolutely. But which is the real tinkerer, right? The Maverick is the real tinkerer of the whole thing. And
Yeah, because normally
Yeah.
on the manual, the Maverick just has spell scrolls from other classes, but it doesn't sound very like you. I mean, you
Spell-
could put
yeah,
it as
it's-
spell scrolls, but
yeah, it's the mechanic is spell scrolls, but
Yeah.
to be honest, those are gadgets. Those are one-use gadgets. But now, I think for the first time in the campaign, we've actually met another tinkerer. This guy, most likely an artillerist, right? This guy is specialist in firearms.
definitely.
Um,
I'm thinking also about the charges, the source of power that Gizmo uses for the gadgets. I have a few ideas, but I have to think about it. I'll write them down.
I mean, I've got one suggestion that we can work with, which is this ether crystals, right? The sort of
That one was one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought about.
You have maybe it's Emil sort of diving through, and we'll pick up. He picks up random crystals here and there, and so you've got a certain amount of charges on you or whatnot. I don't know. It's again, a lot of it. This is fluff, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. But fluff is what makes also a lot of the story sometimes.
100%, absolutely agreed.
I had a lot
Makes
of
the world feel alive.
I had a lot of sessions, one shots, even campaigns where we made up a super dumb detail in session 2, and then after 4 sessions, yeah, you remember that thing we said just as a joke. No, it's an actual thing, and there is like this kind of crazy butterfly effect for for these decisions.
Half my decisions with you guys is the kind of something like that. Right? It's like, oh wait, you said okay, let's go with that, right? So yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Nothing beats a callback, in my opinion. Oh, you remember this? He's back.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, on that note,
Let's go to bed.
unless any of you have anything else to add, I propose that we end it there. Thank you, both of you, again for playing tonight.
Thank you for the session.
Thank you again to
Thank you
both
for the
Emmy
DM.
and Emmy and Panda for playing, and to you who are watching. Thank you for your support. You know who you are. You know what to do. If you enjoy the series, feel free to share it around. This channel has been building, and we really want to feel you guys' support so that we can be motivated to try other things, other projects. and we've got quite a few already being pitched in the group, and we'd love to see them and show them to you. So, in the meantime, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we will see you next time on Waves of Starlight. Goodbye. Good night.